Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, you are going to add a crap ton of Flash messages to your application. The idea is that you should give your user feedback whenever they're trying to do something so that they are very explicitly made aware that, hey, this worked or this didn't work. One thing to note is that the middleware, if you add this to your utils, your middleware, will take care of a whole bunch of these, especially the error ones. Another thing to note is that your login route inside of here, the actual login route will need to be modified. Take a look at the passport documentation for the authenticate method and see if you can figure out how to modify it on your own. If not, it's not a big deal. I'll show you how to do it, but I promise it is in the documentation how to modify the login route in order to use Connect Flash. For your messages, I gave you some suggested ones. For the success ones, you don't have to use these. You can use whatever you want. For the error messages, I did not put suggested ones for a couple of reasons. Number one, you should be able to pick your own. But number two, oftentimes you'll want to show something different based on the error. So for example, if somebody tried to sign up, there are a bunch of different possible errors. They might try using a username that already exists. They might try using an email that already exists. They might have passed in some characters that are not allowed to be used in a username or an email or whatever. Their email might not have an @ symbol in it. There might be some other error that we hadn't even considered. There's a lot of different possible error messages that you could do. Right now, just do kind of a generic catch-all, something like unable to sign you up or sign up failed or something like that is fine. One of the fiddly bits of programming web applications is going through and finding all the errors and sending messages back to your user as to what the error is. I'm not going to make you do that for this, but it is something that if you are creating this in a real-world application or if you are going to put this on your portfolio, I highly recommend you go back after this class and do that. Parse out, okay, if I get this error, run this code in order to set this Flash message. If I get this error, set this Flash message, so on and so forth. And that's it for your instructions. Go ahead, pause the video, and knock out all of these. Do the best you can. If you get stuck, don't worry about it. Just skip it and come back to it later, or skip it and go to the next one, and then we'll do that one together. Either way, doesn't matter. Once you are done, go ahead and hit play, and I will do them in my application. All right, welcome back. I hope that went well. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do the sign up first. Let's just take care of all the auth. We don't need anything for just rendering the sign-up page, but we are going to do something for create. So if the user was able to be created correctly, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this console.log. I don't need it anymore. So if the user is created, then right here is where we put the Flash message. Because it's possible that the user is created and then the authentication fails, but the user has still been created, so we still want to send that message to the user. So request.flash, passing in success, and what did I say? Signed you up as, and then right here I'm going to have to use a template string. Signed you up as new user dot username, because we're getting the new user here, so we're setting the Flash there. After the Flash is set, we are then authenticating and redirecting. So that's good. Let's try it. Go back into comics. Oops, I got to start my server. All right, let's refresh. I'm going to sign up. Email address test3@test.com. Username can be Josh. Password can be Josh. Sign up. Let's see if it works. Signed you up as Josh. There we go. Perfect. So that one's done. Now we need the login route. And for this one, we're going to check the passport documentation. So passport.js, and we might look for Connect Flash. There is the authenticate, and redirects Flash messages right here. So passport authenticate local, passing in success redirect, failure redirect, and then failure Flash true. We can do that if we want to. It instructs Passport to flash an error when the message given by the strategy's verify callback. This is often the best approach because the verify callback can make the most accurate determination of why authentication failed. Alternatively, the flash message can be set specifically. So what I want is I want to come in here and do failure flash. If I can type, failure flash is true, just like it said. But I also want to set success flash. So I can come down below that and set success flash. We might do logged in successfully, something like that. So let's save. Go back here. Oops, we crashed. What did I do wrong? No, it's running. We didn't crash. I just didn't wait long enough. There we go. So let's try. Ooh, this is sign in or login. This is login. So let's try and log in as test, which is the correct one. Logged in successfully. So let's log out and log back in, test, with the wrong password. Password or username is incorrect. There we go. What if I do something here? Password or username is incorrect. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. But if I log in correctly, it works. Logged in successfully. So that is working like we want. So log out. We do this after the logout because we do that first, and then request.flash success logged you out. So let's go back here. Come on, restart. You can do it. Let's log in. Logged you in successfully, then log out. Logged you out. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. And I think that is it for the authentication routes. We got log in, we got log out, and then we got sign up. The other two are just rendering pages. So that's it for auth. We don't need navbar anymore. We already fixed is logged in. So let's do, we don't need app.js, let's do comics. Let's go to the comic routes. Pull comics. So we need it not for index because anybody can get there, for create. First, the is logged in is going to run to make sure they can actually do it, and then down here we're going to try and create them. So let's see, right here, if it worked, we no longer need to console.log the comic. Instead, we want to request.flash success is the type, followed by comic created. And if it doesn't work, we're going to add an error message. We can go ahead and start doing these along the way. Request.flash error creating comic. And instead of response.sending anymore, we're going to response.redirect back to /comics. Notice that now that we are giving our user an error message right here, we can get away with this, because previously if we didn't give them a message, it would just redirect them back to comics and they would be confused, like, well, where's my comic? What happened? Is something broken? I don't know. I'm confused. But now they know specifically, hey, there's an error creating this comic. Something went wrong. So save and let's test it. First I gotta log in. Let's add a comic. Whatever. Submit. Comic created. Yay! So I know the comic created is working. I can't really test the error like this. I'd have to do a little bit of magic, but we would just continue testing until we're able to generate an error, and then once we are, we'll make sure that works. So router new is just rendering something. We don't care about that. Search, again, we don't really care because anybody can access that. We don't have to give the user any type of feedback. Same with genre, same with show. Edit we don't really need because we're just rendering a page to the user. We might in the future wrap this in a try catch, and then if it does throw an error, add a thing to the catch. That's something for the future though. We don't have to get quite that involved. Update we do need though, because we are going to try to update the comic, and if it works, request.flash success comic updated. But if there's an error, we don't want to console.log the error. Actually, it'd probably be a good idea to just leave it console.logging that error. Request.flash error updating comic. And then again, instead of res.sending, we want to res.redirect. Let's go to /comics. So let's try updating a comic now. Come on. There we go. Log in as test. Let's go to this new comic we made, hit the edit button, and let's try to edit the title to X-Men. Submit. Comic updated. There we go. Perfect. So now in the delete, we want to do the same thing. We don't really care to have the comic log to the console anymore. We've already tested this. So request.flash, success, comic deleted. If it does not work, we do want the error though. Request.flash, error, deleting comic. And instead of sending again, res.redirect, we'll just redirect back because that will take you back to the comic show page that you were just interacting with. It's running. Let us log in. Let's try to delete the X-Men comic we made. Delete. Comic deleted. There we go. So that is it for the comic routes. Now let's do the comment routes. We don't care about the form. We do care about creating the comment though. So we don't need it logged anymore, but we do want request.flash, success, comment created. And again, you don't have to do this for every single route in a real-world application, but I want you to do it for this so that you can do as much practice as possible. And then we need to do the same thing with the error. Request.flash, error, creating comment. And instead of send res.redirect, we're just going to go to /comics. And we can't do back here because this is coming from the form right here, so it won't take us back to the actual comic. I mean, I guess we could, but it's, again, not going to be a great user experience. So edit the comment. I don't care about these console.logs anymore. I do want to request.flash, success, comment edited. And I do care about the error, request.flash, error creating comment. And again, instead of send, res.redirect back to /comics. So now let's go and make some comments and then edit some comments. So let's log in. There we go. I already have one, so let's edit it. That one did not work. So let's see why not. Edit comment. Success, comic edited, res.render. Oh, it's because I did it in the wrong place. I did it in the show the form, not to actually update the comic. So you go away and paste that down here. Hopefully some of y'all caught that. And we're screaming at your screen, no, Josh, you idiot. Don't do it that way. And then we want to res.redirect to /comics. So that's the update comment where I'm actually updating it in the database. This is just rendering the form. So save, wait for the server to restart. Log in. Go in here, log in successfully. Let's edit this comment. There we go, comment edited. Perfect, that's what we want. Now let's create a new one. Comment created. So now that we know that both of those that we did work, now we come down to delete comment. So try to delete it if it works. Request.flash, success, comment deleted. If it doesn't work, we do want the error in the console. Request.flash, error deleting, oops, comment. And we want to res.redirect to /comics. That is all of the comment routes. Let's log back in and see if we can test it and make sure it works. Delete. Boom, comment deleted. Perfect. I can delete this one. comment deleted. Works like a charm. Next thing I want to do is come to the middleware, because we've already done is logged in. Now we need to do the other ones, check comic ownership and check comment ownership. So if the user is authenticated, then we need to check if they own the comic. So we're finding the comic, and we're checking. If so, next, which means we need to do nothing because this is just middleware. However, if they don't own it, request.flash, say you don't have permission to do that. Because the only time this is going to run is if they don't own the comic, if they are authenticated and don't own the comic. The next one right here is if the user's not logged in. So this outer one is checking if the user's logged in. If they're not, I need to do request.flash error. You must be logged in to do that. And I forgot to put the type up here, error. So let's save. And this is to check the comic owner, so this is the edit. So let's log in as test, go into a comic that test owns, and then log out in another window. So we've logged us out. Now let's try and edit it. You must be logged in to do that. Let's log back in as test. So we know that you're not logged in, you can't edit the comic. But now, let's log out, and in this other window, log back in is Scooby. So now we are authenticated as Scooby as the wrong user. Let's see if we can edit this. Looks like it's throwing us an error. Let's see. Request flash is not a function. Where is that? That is in check comic owner 10. Request.flash, not response.flash. So there was a bug in my code. Now we're going to have to do that again. Test. Let's come in here, and then log out, and log back in with Scooby. Now I'm logged in, let's try and edit it. You don't have permission to do that, you're not allowed. And then notice that it refreshed the page and the buttons are no longer there. So that is working exactly like we want it to. And we need to do the same thing with check comment ownership. So if logged in, check if they own the comic. If they do, awesome. If not, request.flash error. You don't have permission to do that. And the next one is request.flash error. You must be logged in to do that. I might, in the future, I might make this one the danger, because this is something that, hey, you're trying to break my application. That's the only way you're really going to get here, because you saw the weird steps we had to take too. So I might make that a danger type thing, just to say, hey, quit that mess. Obviously, it wouldn't really have much of an effect, but just makes me happy. So as it is, this should be working. All we have to do now is test the comment ownership. So let's log in. Oops. Test. Come into Watchman. Let's add a comment. And now let's log out and hit edit. Nope, you got to be logged in. So let's come in over here and log in as Scooby. Now we're logged in as a different user and hit edit. You don't have permission. Perfect. Okay, so it is working like we want. Notice that we didn't have to do something different for edit and delete in the comments because we're checking in check comment ownership. Same thing with the edit and delete buttons over here. We only had to do it once because that's the middleware that's checking that. And the last thing we have to do, as always, get status. This is going to be a big one. So let's, I'm just going to remove the flash message because we don't need that anymore. I don't want it in my Git repo. So git add, let's see, I think we can, honestly, we can just add everything because all we did was add flash messages. So we were doing the same thing for each one. So git commit, add flash messages. Git push origin master. Git push Heroku master. And that's it for this video. In this video, we basically just made a crap ton of Flash messages. That's really all we did. We went through, identified a whole bunch of different places where we need them in different routes, in the middleware, so on and so forth, and then added both success and error messages in all those places so that when our users complete actions or do things, they're given feedback, hey, that worked, hey, that didn't work. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to help. Thanks.